Good afternoon. Actually, good evening. It's afternoon for me, but I woke up not too long ago. Anyways, Paula Ward, aka Tutu Fit Mama. Today I am talking about Chapter 9. And apparently, Chapter 9 is all about middle schoolers and how it's basically a prime time for failure. Apparently, I must have literally blocked out my middle school years because I don't remember the trials and tribulations of it. The author of The Gift of Failure is actually a middle school teacher, and she was saying how many teachers feel it's purgatory. I don't know how my middle school teachers out there feel this way. But now, as I've got somebody who's 2 grades into middle school, I now remember back last year at 6th grade and how traumatic it is for those 6th graders as they enter it. Basically, the woman talks about how we throw all these new behaviors at our kids, like now you're responsible for your homework, you're responsible for your backpack. If you don't get this done, then you don't get a bad grade, and how we as parents need to let them fail at this age so that they can develop good habits for high school and college. And I guess when I was in it, I didn't realize, the kids all have binders, they write their own homework. You stop as a parent writing in their binders and checking them every day because they were supposed to be responsible for it, and not realizing it. My son had grades that were missed. He had 3 options to hand in homeworks last year and just forgot. And what ended up happening was he got a C in his grade. And what's comical about it is that I said to him, well, it's not on me, it's on you. You had multiple options. And what it did was it taught him how to learn different techniques so that it didn't happen this year. And it's interesting because his grades are like so much better than they were last year. So she was just talking about our middle schoolers are learning like executive functioning and different ways to kind of set up their time, that we should let them figure out their homework, and sometimes using us as an example. Now it's interesting because you think like I've got one of us parents who's very organized and the other one that isn't, and sometimes when the one parent is here things run smoother, and when the other parent is here it doesn't, and that's just because one of us is a bit more organized, and that we as parents need to share how we function in our lives and organize our time, and then it kind of can get passed to them. I guess the one good thing about phones is that we can now set timers, calendars, reminders to kind of help our kids figure out their time and use their electronic devices for good rather than evil, I suppose. I think about me. I need to set a timer to kind of keep myself off social media, keep myself kind of focused in business. I've got timers on my workouts. I've got different timers kind of set up in my life to kind of organize myself, and we kind of need to share that with our kids. The biggest example, and I thought about this today as I was like half awake, is you watch Peter's team is like 12, 13, and 14-year-olds. One kid doesn't have his shorts. One kid doesn't have his hat. One kid's missing his shoes. One kid's missing something else. And it's kind of comical because, the coach is always telling them, you need to be responsible for your stuff. Like one day Peter forgot his cleats, and he's like, well, you're going to fall over the field. And he had to learn that, and now he's never forgotten his cleats ever since. Well, one day he lost a cleat out the door. But as middle schools, we need to let them fail. We need to stop when they forget their stuff running home to get it. They need to be responsible for packing their bags, packing their school bags. My daughter's packing her lunch. That way she knows she's got everything all set. And if they don't, then they buy lunch, and maybe it's not their best meal, but that's their choice, and they need to learn how to organize that. I'm trying to think what else. Basically our kids learn by modeling from us. Failure helps them create new strategies. He will remember that if he doesn't have his cleats and he goes to turf or special shoes for cleats or whatever, he's going to sit on the bench, or he's going to be falling all over the place and get hurt, or maybe he won't play because he doesn't have all his equipment. Some baseball teams and softball teams, and if you don't have your equipment and it's not, put together, you will sit on that bench. So we need to let our kids fail once in a while, and apparently middle school is like a hotbed for that. I guess I didn't even realize it as I went into it. I guess with your older one, you kind of block out everything that goes on, and I guess you're in it and you think, oh wow, this is why I'm doing this. And God, I remember middle school was so horrible and stressful, and I think nowadays it's even worse. They give our kids binders, they give us all kinds of things to help them organize, and the biggest thing she talked about is that she was afraid to go in her kid's backpack because she wasn't sure if she was going to get injured by something or what in God's name you're going to find in there. And it's true. I stopped cleaning out his backpack about 2 years ago. He does it. And, but yeah, God, you never know what you're going to find in there. Moira found a lunch bag today from like a week ago. So, but they need to do this, and if we keep rescuing them, they are not going to be able to develop it. They're going to struggle in high school. So there's no reason they can't do it. And if they're having trouble, let them know how we do it, how we plan meals, how we plan our lives, because they may think, well, how am I going to use this in life? Well, we use time management and what they call executive functioning every day, and it's developed in middle school when, you know you're going to fail, and we teach it then so that when you get to high school, and some of them don't even develop till later, they can function. So stop saving those middle schoolers. Let them fail. They forget their homework. That's their problem. I can tell you they will not forget it again. And let them be middle schoolers and let them grow up. So that is my point on today. It was kind of a hard chapter. I'm very tired, but it was interesting. Apparently I didn't know how to be fair in middle school. Lizzie, let's see. Yeah, I didn't even realize it last year. You have middle school, it's called your primary school. She's down you're Australian, right? Let's see what else here. That you need to kind of basically get your middle schoolers on board. But yeah, I didn't even realize, with 6th grade coming on, that it was going to be an issue, and then you stress through it and you live through it, and then you think back, wow, that's why we did that. So, but yeah, I guess it's a good thing. We block out middle school and all how horrible it was, and then we move on. I remember high school more than I remember that. So thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for listening. But yeah, so use their phones for good. There is a benefit that can help them. We have calendars. We have a calendar on the refrigerator with Sharpies, or not Sharpies, but markers. Everything's there. I now have a new computer. My computer loads up on the computer. They can see what's going on every day. My husband can see what's going on every day. I'm a list lady, so use our technology to our advantage. Hope you have a good night. I'm off to bed, and hope this helps you live your better life, or at least less stressful life. See what happens. Let me know what tips you guys find help your kids and how they're doing with their middle school, because I know a bunch of you guys are middle school moms and dads. So have a good night. I'll talk to you.